Godspeed and party on.
How about UFC 126 this weekend? Pretty stacked card. I mean, I'm more excited for this card than I've been for any UFC for a while, I would say. And how do you see those fights unfolding?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be hard. You know, it's Belfort could take this one, man. He really can. I mean, his hands are better than Anderson, but the thing, Anderson's mind is better. If Vitor shows up mentally good, he's a very hard guy to beat. He's way too fast for him also. But, you know, he has very good accuracy. He hits, he lands the punches where he wants them to land. And, yeah, it's a hard fight. It's going to be a hard fight for Anderson Silva. Yep. Only a mental case. If Vitor breaks mentally, well, then, yeah, then Anderson is going to take this one.
How about Jones versus Bader? We got two up-and-comers there. Both very good wrestlers. Jones got the long reach on him. How do you see that one?
You know, that is such a hard fight to call. But... you know, I'm a big John Jones fan. You know, I did something with him a long time ago at the IFL already, and then later on I realized that, oh my God, that was with him, and the way he comes up, the way he presents himself. But Bader also, he's also the same thing. He's a really nice guy, good person. Both guys feel like, I guess the best man's going to win here. But you know, every time when they throw a wrestler in front of Jones and everybody says the wrestler is better, he takes care of those guys like it's nothing. So you know, if this pattern keeps on going, then I said it when I saw Jones fight, like the first two fights in the UFC, this guy's going to be the champion.
Definitely, I fully agree. Rich Franklin and Forrest Griffin. I was actually a little surprised that they put Bader and Jones against each other when they had those two legends also going against each other. I figured maybe they'd put each up-and-comer against one of the older school, you know, proven veterans. Yeah,
right now then, yeah, that's a good one. It works out both ways if you think about it. But wow, yeah, that's going to be a tough fight. Forrest Griffin, every time when I see him, I say, how can he be 205? Did you ever see the guy? He's huge. And I go, every time it surprises me. Then he says Rich Franklin. And I think about Rich's build, and I go right away, that's the same weight class. But it is. It really is. When you spar with him, he's a giant. This is going to be a good fight. It's going to be a tough fight because Griffin is not going to quit. And, yeah, come on.
Anderson by whatever he wants. John Jones, first round. Who knows? First round stoppage by John. And with Rich Franklin, Forrest Griffin, it's one of those fights. They're kind of similar, but they're kind of not. And Forrest has had a long layoff, so we'll see how he bounces back off of that. Rich Franklin's coming off a big win over, you know, the man Chuck Liddell. So it's a tough fight to call. I'm not much for predictions, so I just hope for a good fight. Hopefully, no one gets hurt, and it's going to be a great Super Saturday fight.
Well, the Vitor Anderson Silva fight, I'm going to have to go with Anderson Silva. But Vitor, he could win. He could take him down and grind a decision out just like Chael Sonnen did. Vitor's wrestling is pretty damn good. So, but if I had to put my money down, I would put it on Silva.
Okay. And how about Jones versus Bader? How do you see that fight unfolding?
I see Jones taking that one. I don't think Jones is going to lose for a while. You know, that's just a prediction. Anything could happen, but Jones is amazing. I really don't see him losing for a while.
And do you have any predictions possibly for next week's UFC? It's a great stacked card.
Predictions, main event, I mean, the card's one of the best cards I've seen in a long time. You know, Vitor and Anderson, I think that, you know, I've never seen either one of those two ever shoot a takedown, so that's going to be a complete stand-up war. Vitor might be the best striker that Anderson's ever fought, but he's very aggressive, and it seems what I've seen in the past with Anderson is that he fights very well when people push the pace. He fights good against aggressive fighters, so I could see a couple different things happening in that fight. Rich and Forrest, that's another great fight. Both of those guys are cardio machines, and they're very aggressive. I think they're going to meet right in the middle of the octagon, and they're going to throw down. That's going to be a very good fight. I can't make any predictions because I think either fight could go either way.
Jones and Bader?
Jones and Bader's another good one. Both those guys are studs. You know, Jones very, very agile, very athletic, very dynamic, and Bader just in-your-face, hardcore Division I wrestler, big and strong, and another fight that could be very interesting too. So I think all these fights are going to come down to game plan, to be honest with you.
You know, in the main event, I'm just going to take Silva because you can't ever count the guy out. He showed how big his heart is, and he showed how good he is in the first round even. He can finish people in the first round, and he can gut out a 5-round scrap war where he's getting beat down and come out with a finish. So you can't count the guy out, and I just think that he's a tough matchup for anybody.
How about Jones and Bader? That's a very interesting matchup.
Jones-Bader is a very interesting matchup. You know, I think that if Bader is able to keep the pressure on Jones and make some take and put Jones on his back, he can make a long night for Jones. But you know, I'm gonna take I don't know who I'm gonna take in this one, to be honest. This could go either way. That's a tough fight to say. They're both savage wrestlers, and I think Jones has the edge on the striking, but in the grappling, you know, you never know what can happen.
Godspeed and party on.